It was moved and supported to approve the additional surcharge of $16,300 for the purchase of the 2023 Christ Hill dump truck with verification writing of the additional charge. To kind of give a backstory on this, Mr. Rosfit noted that with the dump truck we ordered in January of 2022 still has not arrived, and when we contacted the company, they mentioned that due to price increase, there would be a surcharge of $16,300 for that purchase of that truck. They had mentioned if we do not take delivery of the truck, that they would cancel the order and charge us the current market rate for the vehicle, which will be higher than the $16,300. Either way, the delivery is anticipated at the end of January 2023.
Oh, the amount got changed, I believe. What is it now, Pam? 12,000. It's 12,204, so it's gone down from the 16,000. So they at least came back and gave us a little better price. Councilor Beyondich.
Thank you. Are we sure that we are locked into that and there won't be another price increase if the delivery is not made as soon as they're telling us?
I would believe we would be locked in now once we sign the agreement with them. I don't see how they can back out. Opinion, Mr. Attorney?
Thank you, Mayor, or Vice Mayor. So the answer to that question becomes a little bit complicated. I think what we should do is respond to them. Well, becomes a little bit more complicated. I've reviewed a number of a bit of the background information, and from my standpoint, I don't see a basis for them to increase the surcharge. That being said, the risk of losing the vehicle and being exposed to a higher price is a real risk that could exist. What I think we should do is any response that we make to the acquiescence to this increase or the surcharge should be accompanied by a clear statement that by accepting that surcharge, it's their agreement that there'll be no additional change.
I think that's a prudent thing, Councilor Beyondich. You have any more to say on that? Okay. I agree that we should send them a letter saying we accept or legal documents telling we accept that new increase and that we expect them to honor it in one way or another on this, because this is getting to be a very, how shall I say it, way for companies to increase their profitability without actually showing us where their costs have increased from the manufacturer of their steel products. And I don't like that personally. You just send it on a bill and say, this is what you owe because our costs went up. Well, I would like to see verification on this stuff, but we don't want to lose a price where it may go above and beyond the surcharge at this point. So, yeah, our attorney is correct. It's really complicated right now. You can just see it any place you go right now when they start doing stuff with surcharges. I just ordered something online and it was more than what they quoted me online. They'll figure it out. Any other discussion? Councilor Johnson?
Is there a motion on the floor, Pam?
Pam, is there a motion on the floor? I don't think so yet.
I will move that we pay the adjusted amount and include a letter as recommended by our attorney.
Okay, is there support for that?
Support.
Okay, so moved and support. Moved by Councilor Johnson, supported by Councilor Beyondich. Further discussion, Councilor Frida.
What's the exact amount on the surcharge?
Well, according to our stuff here, 12,204.
Okay, okay,
So it's gone down from the 16.
okay. That's what I was confused because I
Yeah,
didn't have the 16 listed. All right.
yeah,
thank
the
you.
16 has been changed to the 12. Yeah, the invoice is in your packet, or in the packet, okay? So, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Brian, can you take care of that for a letter for the city?
It was moved and supported to approve the purchase of a 2023-2024 High-Low Rapid Rail garbage truck in the amount of $316,873.22 to be paid from the enterprise fund, which is the garbage fund, and split between the two budget years of 2023 and 2024 because delivery of this is expected in early 2024.
We'll move the resolution.
It's been moved. There's a support. Support by Counselor, moved by Counselor Johnson, supported by Counselor Baranzelli. On there, I don't see any lights on. Oh, okay, no lights on. Okay, all those in favor of the purchase of the rapid rail garbage truck, we're at a point where we do need to purchase a new one. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
But there was discussion regarding the Our Savior's Lutheran Church fence that was required to be placed as part of the purchase agreement for a portion of property we purchased as part of the miners' renovation. It was moved and supported to direct staff to proceed as noted in the purchase agreement with Our Savior's Lutheran Church and to contact them regarding the placement and installation of the fence.
Okay, looking for a motion of action on that item?
So moved.
Support?
Support for discussion.
Okay, it's been moved and supported for discussion. Counselor Freeland?
Has that contact been made and has any decision been made?
Not yet, no. We've reached out, we haven't connected yet.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So we still need to contact, is there any further discussion on that? We have a motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Discussion was held regarding a request from Wold Architects for additional fee for the SHPO Phase 2 evaluation of the proposed site and current facility utilized as a fire department. SHPO is requesting this review, and USDA is now requiring this review as part of the process for funding. It was moved and supported to approve the request by Wold Architects for additional fee of $25,000 for the SHPO Phase 2 evaluation for the Public Safety Center as required for the funding from USDA.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any further discussion on that motion? Counselor Beyondich.
And it's not so much a question, Britt, but could you explain to the public what this is and how we have to do it?
Yeah, the USDA requires us to do what's a process called an environmental review, and part of that environmental review is having SHPO give their blessing on the project. When we explained to them we were purchasing these properties to buy them, to demolish them, to place the fire hall and the public safety center in that location on Second Avenue, they responded, well, what are you doing with the existing fire hall? We think it's historic. And so they're now requiring us to do a Phase 2 historic study on the existing fire hall to see if there's historic value there.
And just, can you clarify SHPO's acronym meaning?
The State Historic Preservation Office is required. And so then USDA, when they got that response from the State Historic Preservation Office, they now have to continue with the historic renovation.
Okay, any further discussion? I'm going to make a couple comments on this one. I do not like what's going on here. We have never designated that area as a historic designation area, the city of Virginia as a city council. They're sticking their fingers into something that I believe they should not be doing that. They have no right to tell us how to dispose of property that we own in this city that hasn't been designated by this city as historic designation. Fight them, and it costs you too much money to fight that issue, so you end up getting stuck with it. And they have never really explained the process for appeal to what they're going to do to you. And I've seen some bad Phase 2s and some other things come out of their things. It leaves an individual that has a historic building not much choice when they have to remodel. We're not after that. You can do it, but it causes a problem. You can ask anybody that's gone through this process. It always costs some more money. That's my thought, and that's my personal thought.
Could the evaluation or this process result in us not being able to, I mean, what is the plan? Are we going to tear this down, or, I mean, is that their concern, that it should remain standing?
107 years old, right?
And at this time, we have expressed to them and to all of our architects, everybody involved in this project, that we have no indication what the city council is going to do for it. I guarantee you that storage is a huge problem for the city, and that's our intent at this moment, is to
Maintain
store
it.
much lighter things in there than the fire trucks, whether it be plow trucks or whatever it might be.
Okay.
We have no intention of doing anything with it at this moment.
It's just a process we need to complete in order to move forward with the USDA loan. All right, thank you.
Okay, Counselor Beyondich.
And by doing this, we will be gaining the funds that we need to move forward on the public safety building. But if it is declared, I mean, if it's a historic building, would we be able to get any money back from SHPO to put into that building?
We could, there is potential, if we do decide to make it, the historic designation has to come from us. They can make a recommendation to us that it should be declared historic. We can say no. And we probably would, I don't know that we would. Then they could take action through the federal system to get us to declare it as historic. So, but that's a long process, that costs a lot of money. If somebody were to renovate it or want to renovate it to historic nature, there is historic tax credits that somebody could get. There is historic funding that they could get if they wanted to renovate it back to that point.
So it's not a total
No.
loss of money. I mean, if that were to come to fruition and that building, our historic district is the main street.
The main street, and
Is
it's only the
is it-
300 and the 400 blocks.
But is it the full block? So would that be included in
It
it?
is the storefronts and the 300 and 400 block and everything adjacent to those.
So not behind that alley?
No.
Okay, thank you.
We do have, Counselor Beyondich, a few other buildings on Second Street, or First Street South, that are historic, that were designated, but not on First Street North. So that's the distinction. You know, and I stated my objection, but, you know, can't override some of these things. We don't want to jeopardize the money for either for the new public safety center, so we almost have to go along with this. Do we have a motion on the floor, correct, Pam? Okay. There's a, Counselor Beyondich, Counselor Paulson.
So I do have one question then regarding the Phase 2 evaluation. If I guess who's going to be doing this? Is it SHPO conducting it?
No, Wold Architects has
Wold
a
is gonna conduct-
secondary party. So Wold is the general contractor. And they have another party that specializes in these kind of studies that is going to do this.
And then if they find anything that there's an issue, I know I asked this at the committee of the whole meeting, and I think you answered, I'm pretty sure you did, but I can't remember. Will the city be forced to do what the recommendations may be? So what in fact are they doing with this study then once they do it? It doesn't make sense. If we're not required to take any action based upon this, why are we required to actually conduct the study? If it's not on the historic portion of the adjacent historic designated blocks on Chestnut
In
Street.
the Phase 1 report, that was what their explanation was, is that they think it should probably be on the Federal Historic Register and they want to look at it a little more.
But how can they come to us and say, well, we think it should be on the historic register? Isn't it it would be the city's initiative to approach, whether it be it's federal or state preservation, historical preservation. So if we haven't done that action step, how can they force us how can they come into this community of Virginia and say, we want to evaluate that site for possibly being historic?
We're asking for federal funding. This gives them the foot in the door because we have to do this environmental review process, which
And I
includes.
get it, but I mean, I'm on the same side where it just doesn't make sense, especially, I mean, we're spending $14,824 on a study that really has no bearing on moving forward whatsoever when we have no plan in place for that fire hall. Right now.
25,000. 25,000.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're looking
I'm
at the
sorry.
wrong thing.
Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah, it's
And maybe part
25,000.
of this, what
25,000.
comes out of it is that we do have to decide what we're going to do with it. That may be what the answer is SHPO may force us to say, what is your plan? And we have to take that hard, long look, whatever we can do with the building. We're gonna try to sell it, we're gonna.
And I just don't know how or why SHPO should be able to come into the city and tell us what we should be doing with a building that's not even on the register.
I agree, but only because we're vacating it as part of the project that requires USDA funding, so there's,
No, and I will go along with it. It doesn't make any sense, and it seems like a waste of money. So
I am with you 100%.
I will reluctantly go along with it. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments on that? Hearing none, there is a motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you, Brett.
It was moved and moved and supported, it's been a very long day, to approve the resolution to set the utility permit fee for $35 per permit.
So moved.
Support.
It's moved by Counselor Freelib and supported by Counselor Johnson to adopt a resolution to set the utility permit fee for $35. What we're looking at here, just to explain to the public, we have a lot of contractors that come into this city that put in everything from fiber optic lines to whatnot without getting the proper permits and doing the proper things and doing the proper things with what is it, Gopher One and some of the other places to locate these things. And we're looking at a disaster if they hit some of these things that are underground. So we're going to force them to register, basically. If they don't, the next step is probably put a fine system in on them. Correct, Brett? So this is a step one that will make them at least register so we know what they're doing and tell them. Just have them, don't even come in and tell us. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, we have a motion on the floor and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
It was moved and supported to approve the quote from Range Office Supply for the purchase of office equipment in the amount of $14,824.27, as the quote is a slight bit higher, but it was a slight bit higher than the second quote received, but the purchase is from a local business. This is for the Community Development Planning and Permitting Office.
Also move.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? I don't see any lights on. So with that, we're looking for a vote on this. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay, that motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve allowing the police department to conduct the second annual range recovery night on Tuesday, September 20th, 2022 at Alcott Park from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay, looking for a motion?
So moved.
Support, Councillor Beyondich. That's a support? Okay. It's been moved and supported. It moved by Councillor Johnson and supported by Councillor Beyondich. Councillor Johnson, you have discussion.
I will also note that they did request that the cupola be purple next week, and we will make that happen.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, any other discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Reviewed the draft development agreement with GNN Enterprises LLC at 224 Chestnut Street. Brad Gustafson is the developer on this project, one of the developers on this project. We do have Brad in the audience if anybody would like to discuss this with Brad. It was moved and supported to approve that development agreement with GNN Enterprises at 224 Chestnut Street.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved by Councillor Freelib on this item and support by Councillor Johnson. Councillor Beyondich.
And since you've been so patient in the audience, I think we should call you up and have you give us an update on your project.
Good evening, Mr. Vice Mayor, councilors. So we've got all of our approvals, and we made our bid award to our asbestos abatement contractor, Abate Tech, and they are finishing up a project this week and hopefully can get into our building and remove the asbestos. We're waiting, we did some site boring in the, so that would be the east lot where our building will be located. So NTS did that. We're waiting for the final report. So when that building was demoed several years ago, the fill was not compacted. So we're hoping it's good soil, so that way we can, when our building comes down, they can take that soil, put it into the new hole, compact it, and then put in new soil where our building will be. So we're waiting for NTS's report to determine what kind of soil was put there and if we can reuse it. So just waiting for that, and then hopefully demo will happen this fall, and then our architect right now is working on our full architectural and mechanical plans. That will be completed mid-November, and then we'll go out for RFPs for the construction, and then hopefully construction in the spring, and then open fall of next year.
Okay, thank you for your report. Are you happy with the development agreement from the city?
Yes, looks good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Counselor Johnson? Oh, Counselor Brandich. I'm sorry, I thought it was you, Counselor Johnson.
Thank you. And I appreciate your patience through this. It's been a long process for you, and we are very excited to see this moving along, so thank you.
Yeah, we are too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brad.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess we still need a vote on this. We have to approve this agreement, correct, Brett? Okay, I'm looking for a motion to approve. Or do we have one already, Pam? I do have a motion in a second. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Brad.
Thank you, Brad, too, for investing in downtown. We really appreciate it. It was moved and supported to approve the property offer and waiver for relocation at 105 8.5 Street South, Virginia, Minnesota, and this is for our public safety area.
I will move the resolution for purchasing the property from John M. Pierce.
Is there support?
Support.
Okay, it's been moved by Counselor Johnson, supported by Counselor Paulson to purchase. This is in the development area for the new public safety building. So any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve the purchase of the property offer for 1008 South Second Avenue.
Move the resolution, purchase property from Kimberly Salzbach.
Okay, it's been moved to support?
Support.
Support, okay. Moved by Counselor Johnson, supported by Counselor Paulson. We'll let ladies go first here. Counselor Johnson, you had a...
Thank you. Yes, they are in the second whereas the name needs to be corrected.
Oh, okay. All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve the purchase of property at 115 10th Street South.
I'll move the resolution authorizing the purchase of property from Carl S. Headley.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any further discussion on this? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Did you get who made the motion? Okay. I forgot to repeat it. All right, hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Or did I do that already? I did. I'm getting to the end of this agenda. I'm getting where the eyeballs aren't working right. Okay.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda was to set a special budget meeting on Tuesday, September 13th at 4 PM, which we had today, so I do not need any further motion for that. We went into closed session to discuss purchase of various city parcels, purchase of city land, city-owned property, and city's labor negotiation strategy for both AFSCME and LELS. When we came out of the closed session, it was moved and supported to direct city staff to work with potential buyers of the city vacant lot located on 4th Street North regarding design standards in this area.
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It is moved and supported to direct city staff to work with Iron Range Rehabilitation Board staff members and First National Bank of Gilbert regarding the city purchasing the parcels known as 9010-1550, 9010-1170, 9010-2570, 9010-1170, 9010-12550, 9010-12390, and 9010-2160.
So moved.
Is there support? It's been moved by Counselor Johnson, supported by Counselor Baranzelli to work with the Iron Range Rehabilitation Board and First National Bank on these parcels of property that were listed. So we haven't actually done negotiations, correct, yet, or
Not yet,
anything?
no.
Okay, so that'll come back to the council then.
Correct.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to set up interviews for the fire chief per the hiring policy and appointing counselors Paulson, Baraboo, and Johnson to the interview panel.
So moved.
Support.
They've been moved. Is there support? Support by Counselor Johnson. Okay, I believe we have a tentative date now, don't we not, Pam, for that?
Yes, we do. It is Tuesday, September 27th at 9 a.m.
So we might as well put that into, now that we have talked to everybody and we have a tentative date, might as well put that in the motion then, I would guess. So we will do that. Okay, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No. Oh, not me, I'm sorry. No one opposed. Sorry about that. Yeah, you can tell I'm getting tired here. Okay, and we have,
Thank you. No further items from that meeting, Vice Mayor.
I think that's it? That's it then from that meeting. Okay, is there anything else we need to bring up, Pam, tonight? Other than we have the reports and stuff from staff and commission. Okay, hearing no more business at this point, looking for any commission liaison reports. Anybody have any? Any seeing none, let's move on. Department head reports.
I do have one. As you might notice, John Sullivan is not sitting on the side of Sherry today. John Sullivan has unfortunately took another position down in the metro, so he is no longer working for the city of Virginia. So we are hiring a community development planner. So if anybody out there is interested, please go to our website and take a look at the application. Need help? So I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, John's going to be sorely missed with all the hard work he did on the public safety area and other things that he's done within the city for putting stuff together with planning and zoning, et cetera. It's unfortunate he has some personal issues that he needs to take care of with family, so we understand what's going on. All right, anybody else? Brian?
No report.
Report from you, Pam?
No, I do not have anything, thank you.
Sherry? Probably have a little bit from tonight's meeting.
Yes. Just want to thank the council and staff for helping with the 2023 proposed budget and levy. So we got a little work ahead of ourselves, but thank you. It's been long.
So one thing we did tonight, we did set a preliminary budget levy number. That'll come out as the reports come out. We have till September 30th to turn that into the state of Minnesota. We can still act again if we need to this month on that, but other than that, once September 30th comes around, that stays in place, but we can reduce the levy dollars up until December 30th. So there are ways to go. It can't go up any more than what we planned on, and the staff will get that out in a news release, I'm sure. But we can go down. So that takes care of what Sherry put together. She did an outstanding job. She's done This is an example of what we go through, this big book of our budget. Every single department's in here, every single request, all the capital equipment requests are in here, and every department is tabbed inside, so we can look at it as counselors, and we can determine what we need to do to keep a balanced budget. We have to balance our budget, we have to balance our budget by state law, so. Thank you, Sherry, for all the hard work, and Britt, you too. You did lots of work on this too. Oh, pardon? Oh, I forgot. Nothing, Jody, tonight? Oh, okay, nothing tonight. Well, welcome anyway. Okay, council reports. Anybody have a council report tonight? Anybody don't see any lights on? Councilor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to point out, we got an email during the meeting that the school board has made a request of us, and I would like to make sure that's on the committee meeting for next week so we can address it along with everything else. But the school board has made a formal request of us at this time.
Anybody else from the council? I will just make one announcement. I will not be here for the next committee of the whole meeting. I have a medical appointment that I have to keep in Rochester. So I'm just going to announce that. So I will not be here next Tuesday because I have to be down there for my appointment I've been looking for 7 weeks. So I appreciate your indulgence with this. I'm doing okay with everything, but just need to let you know I'll be gone. Anybody else have anything? Okay. Oh, one more thing,
One more
Britt?
thing, the food truck festival is this Saturday, so come on
Oh,
downtown
yes.
Chestnut Street, starting at 11 o'clock. The music does go from 3 to 7. The vendors have never gone to 7. They've always run out of food by 5, so come on down early. Bingo is at the Elks at 1 PM. Bingo is for 18 and over only. We have a lot of fun planned. Come on downtown this Saturday.
Britt, how many vendors are we going to have this year?
A lot. Lots more. We are actually closing the street down from 2nd Avenue to 6th Avenue, but we will have golf carts that will shuttle anybody that needs a ride. There is free parking on both sides of First Street North and First Street South. Please feel free to park in the lots. There is no charge that day. Nobody's going to ticket you. You can stay there all day. Bring a chair if you want downtown. We will have some picnic tables down there by the tent, by the front of the Lyric where the music is. So please come down and enjoy. And wish for no rain.
Yeah, and from everything we've heard from people who have attended before, the food is outstanding, so come on down. Okay, with that, meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for putting up with me as an individual does this once in a while. I guess we didn't do too bad, did we, Brett?